Hi, I'm Dr. Karan, a general surgeon and the author of This Book May Save Your Life. I'm always interested in helping people take a greater ownership of their own health. So to that end, I've compiled a list of no-nonsense tips that can improve your health. So quick disclaimer, I am a medical doctor, but I'm not your doctor. So always consult a medical professional before following any of this advice. So it doesn't really matter strictly how much you sleep, but it's more important about keeping a relatively consistent and regular sleep and wake schedule. For example, say you go to bed every night at 10 p.m. Your body starts to release certain hormones like the hormone melatonin, which is a sleep chemical which makes you feel sleepy. It starts to release that around 9 or 10 p.m. Say you wake up every day at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Your body starts to release hormones and other chemicals to make you get up in the morning around those times. Now, when you start to change your sleep and wake times, it throws the whole orchestra and everything out of sync because your body is no longer used to releasing hormones at 10 p.m. or at 6 a.m. You've thrown it out the window, you've broken the clock, so your body gets confused and those signals start being released at different times, and that affects your appetite, your bowel routine, your mood, your energy. So keeping that consistency and schedule is exactly what your body craves. Eat the rainbow. Get a wide range of colors in the foods that you eat in your diet. So when you selectively eat certain foods in your diet, for example, which have vibrant colors, which have deep purples, dark reds, and the blues and the crimsons, and even the darker greens, all of these indicate that these types of food have very high levels of polyphenols, and polyphenols are natural antioxidants found in plant-based foods. So any movement is great, and walking, particularly as an exercise, is wholly underrated. People hold on to this nebulous total of 10k steps, and there's no specific science which points to humans needing 10,000 steps to achieve a certain peak of fitness or certain health goals. So for a lot of people that are feeling unmotivated and look at the daunting task of maybe walking 10,000 steps, no, you just have to walk more than you're doing now. And actually, for adding in an extra 1,000 steps from your baseline, you start to reduce the risk of death. And for every 500 steps beyond your baseline, you start to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease as well. Breathing can be a tool to help you beat stress. So when you breathe in, your heart rate actually slightly increases. And every time you breathe out, your heart rate goes down. So actually, even when you're breathing, it doesn't have to be any fancy breathing exercises. If you focus and deliberately prolong the exhale phase of a typical breath, you're actually lowering your heart rate. Now that's one easy thing to do. Anti-aging products don't really exist. The problem is the science of anti-aging and longevity is really in its infancy. We don't know much about how to reverse aging on a cellular level. But there are some things that we can do to help slow down the aging process. And it's very simple. All from sleeping right and avoiding sleep deprivation to something really simple like wearing sunscreen. And if you wear sunscreen, that protects your skin and the skin cells from the harmful effects of ultraviolet radiation that can also cause fine lines and wrinkles. Probiotics are more hype than health. So we have probiotics, which basically means live microorganisms like bacteria and viruses and fungi and any number of microscopic inhabitants of our gut microbiome. And you've also got prebiotics, which are basically fiber-rich foods. The prebiotics act as fuel, and ultimately they produce postbiotics, which are beneficial compounds as a result of them digesting prebiotics. Now, probiotic supplements claim to contain microorganisms, live microorganisms, which will add beneficially and positively to your gut health. The problem is a lot of these supplements are unregulated and may not contain what they propose to contain. Your standard probiotics won't really help, and you're gonna stand to get much more out of the probiotic rich foods that you might eat. Eat more fiber for better bowel habits. So although your colon is one of those organs that is self-cleaning, it also requires some help from us as well. So the role of soluble fiber is that it can help to bulk up your stool, but the insoluble fiber is required to help to turn over the lining of the intestines. Just like you want to replace your carpet in your house once every few years or maybe every 10 years, at some point the lining of the intestine will be replaced, and part of the role of fiber or insoluble fiber is to scrape off some of that lining so new cells can grow in their place. So there's plenty of ways to get lots of fiber in your diet. And if we're looking at just foods that are easily available, your classic are the fruits and veg. And remember, if you're having lots of fiber, you need to mix it with lots of water as well. So it's important to stay hydrated because fiber is like cement. It needs to be mixed in with a lot of water first before it sets in. Raise your knees when you poop. Now, you've got the pelvic floor, which is a bunch of muscles which control your bowels and your integrity of your anal sphincters to avoid any unexpected accidents. Now, when you're sitting in a normal 90-degree posture without your knees up, your pelvic floor is actually continent. It is keeping things closed, and you might have to strain more and push more to get it out of the hole down below. Now, if you raise your knees slightly, one of the pelvic floor muscles, called the puba rectalis, which acts like a sling around the rectum, actually loosens a little bit and allows the rectum, your poop chute as it were, to straighten. And it means you need to strain less and push less, and you can have a better, easier bowel motion. To get even more tips on how to improve your health, listen to This Book May Save Your Life now on Audible.